Welcome to another episode of The Voice of Viet Vegas. This is a special edition of Meet the Candidate. Due to COVID-19 still, our show is being taped using virtual meetings. Today, I have the pleasure to have a conversation with Judge Richard Scotti on our show. Judge Scotti has dedicated his effort and career to community service. He was first elected judge of 8th Judicial District Court back in 2015. He received some most prestigious rating and award like Preeminence Lawyer from 2012 to 2020, Preeminent Judge in 2019. For non-attorneys in the audience, preeminence is giving to attorneys or judges rank at the highest level of professional excellence for their legal expertise, communication skill, and ethical standard by their peers. He was named one of America's top lawyers in 2013. He was named one of the America Super Lawyers as featured in Super Lawyers magazine, and was featured in the constitutional law comic books series Lex versus Rex. Judge Richard Scotti is now running for re-elections. I hope these conversations will give you, the voters in Las Vegas, an opportunity to learn more about Judge Scotti as an individual, and for you to consider to re-elect him on these coming elections. Please welcome Judge Richard Scotti.
Thank you, Tuan, for that fantastic introduction. I'm really honored for you to say all those nice things about me. It's a great pleasure to be here on your show and to have this great chance to talk to your viewers and your listeners, your audience. I really think it's really important for the judges to try as hard as they can to get out there and meet the folks so they can learn who to vote for. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm Judge Richard Scotti. I have been your district court judge for 6 years in Department 2. I handle civil and criminal matters, and I am running for re-election. And I would be honored to have your support to serve for another 6 years. Let me tell you just a little bit about me personally and then maybe professionally. I've lived here in Clark County for about 30 years. I moved here with my family, and my kids are now grown. My 2 children, 2 wonderful children, are ages 30 and 28. My son, actually, he just took the bar exam. I hope that he will become a lawyer really soon. He's working for a great criminal defense firm here in town. I love the community. I work hard for the community. I have such an amazing passion to serve the people of Clark County. I love my job tremendously. I have the life experiences that have given me the tools to be a good judge for you. And I've worked really hard my entire career to get to this point. I have earned, as Tuan said, the AV rating, which is the preeminent rating, the highest rating possible in legal ability and ethical standards. And I've handled hundreds and hundreds of cases in all different fields of law. And that's important for the people to know because us as a judge, every single day, there's such a wide variety of cases that come before us every single day. And we have such a tremendous impact on the community. What means the most to me right now is the endorsements that I've received just recently from firefighters and law enforcement officers and first responders. I'm honored to have all of their support and endorsements so I can help them help the people of Clark County. I enjoy my job, and I hope you give me another 6 years.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me talk to your viewers.
Well, thank you so much, Judge. And as I mentioned before the show, that we probably see you most of the time when, especially on the Asian communities. If we have any event, you show up and you are there, and greeting the communities, and you are so close to the community. And I think that those are making a big impact within the community itself. So my first question to you is, after sitting on the bench for the last 6 years, why do you want to serve as a judge again for another 6 years?
Oh, thank you. That is a very good question. Well, the people of Clark County, they deserve a judge that has a passion to serve and the knowledge that's necessary for this job, and the ethical standards and the courage to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I've been providing those things to the people of Clark County, and I want to do that for another 6 years. In terms of the passion, I come to work every single day just in awe of the majesty of that building that I'm walking into, knowing that justice is being done here. And this is such a tremendous responsibility that the people have bestowed on me. And every single day I walk up those steps heading into the building, and I say to myself, just, can I do the best job possible? Can I be as attentive as I need to be? Can I make sure I apply utmost due process? Can I give everyone the fairest shake possible? Can I make sure I create an atmosphere when people walk out of my courtroom, they know, even if they lost, that they had a judge that cared and listened. And I bring that feeling into the courtroom. And when I can do my best to accomplish those things, it's such a rewarding feeling, knowing that I help, that people know that justice is being served. That's the feeling I want to have every day. That's the feeling that I've enjoyed, and that's the part of me that really enjoys serving the community. That's my only objective. Every time I go to court is to make sure that I'm doing the best, so I can make sure that everyone has that feeling that justice was served. And I feel good when people come in. It was right behind the witness box. I have this giant painting of the Statue of Liberty. I want everybody who comes into my court knowing that they are welcome, and that I do have the courage to do the right thing, because it's not important sex or age or national origin or who's got the biggest lawyer, who's got the more money, who's got more clout in the industry. Every single person that walks in front of me is deserving of the same respect as everybody else. And so all of that is the feeling that I think is mutual between me and the community, which makes me love this job so much and makes me ask you for an opportunity to serve again for another 6 years.
That is wonderful. As a practicing lawyer, a prosecutor, and now as a judge, what makes you most proud about our judicial system?
It is our system of justice where we are judged by our peers. Societies have not always used the jury trial system. People have been fighting and struggling for this system of justice where you're adjudicated by your peers, by your jurors, for thousands of years, for 2,500 years, going all the way back to the ancient Greeks, the Athenians. We had people struggling to have decisions made not just by the wealthy magistrate, the well-connected magistrates, but by our peers. And you can see the progression of the development of jury trials from the Greeks to the Romans and medieval Europe and the Vikings and early American colonies. And a lot of people don't know that one of the big reasons why we in America had our revolution from the British Crown is because Great Britain was eroding our rights to a jury trial. If you were to look at the Constitution, or rather the Declaration of Independence, people always talk about taxation without representation as being one of the causes, right? We've all heard that. Well, if you look, and that's the statement of reasons in the Declaration why there was a revolution. If you look just one right after that, the next justification is deterioration of the right to jury trial. I have a lot of respect for that system. We fought hard for it. It's one of the best systems in the world, and that's what I take the most respect in our system of justice.
So, well, thank you so much for that version, and I think that makes a lot of sense, though. How have your life experience prepared you to be a judge?
You know, it all started off, and I was really young kid. My dad, we had I had a difficult childhood. We were kind of poor. I grew up in Carson, California, next day Gardena down there in Southern California. And we had oil fields in our backyard almost. We had a very tough time growing up. My dad said to me, son, you're gonna have a lot of hard jobs throughout your whole life. You better pick a job that you really enjoy. And I took that as advice and I got that job. And so part of my life experiences is taking my dad's encouragement to make sure I found something that I had a passion for. But more importantly, if you look at the types of jobs that I've had, I was a painter, I was a janitor, a couple different janitor jobs. I worked at McDonald's for a while. I worked at a small retail location as a janitor. I was a painter. I worked in manufacturing, gluing together snorkels for a business that my dad was a partner in. I grinded down metal valves. I had all types of tough jobs. And then I worked at McDonald's again when I was at USC going to college. And then I worked in the library. And those jobs, they teach you responsibility and accountability, respect for your employer. They teach you punctuality. They teach you interrelationship skills. They teach you that no matter how often we make mistakes, and that we do all make mistakes, those jobs teach you to get back up and have the courage to keep going. That's not stuff you learn in law school. That's life experiences that you can bring to the bench. And then if you look a little bit more past those types of jobs I had, I actually had more sophisticated jobs, working as a shipping clerk, working as a bookkeeper. And then after I got my law degree, later on, I was actually a partner at my own law firm where I was a partner. And these types of jobs, they teach you that businesses are not just names. Businesses are families. Businesses are employees. Businesses are customers. Businesses are the chain of commerce and the lifeblood of our economy and our society. I learned these things, and I have the right skills and understanding of businesses and people that can really give me the right insight to be a good judge. So I know it's kind of a long question, but everything I told you, I guess that's the passion and the knowledge and the ability to recognize mistakes and move forward, and the experience I've gained just from knowing people and businesses to apply that to my job.
Does make a lot of sense because that you have all kind of different jobs that are available to you, from janitors to an attorney to a prosecutor, and now you become a judge. So you probably more having more knowledge of people in front of your bench. I mean, some people, they don't have that. Some people that they just had whatever that they're in a very wealthy family, for example, don't have those experience to basically understanding what is the person in front of you have to go through in order for you to make a right judgment and the right case. So wonderful. Thank you so much. The justice system is a premise on the notions that rich and poor should be treated equally. However, poor people are systematically treated worse than wealthy people. Without financial means, people without financial means are vulnerable because they can't afford high-priced attorney, resulting in a higher conviction rate. Some people cannot afford to hire an attorney. What do you do to help them get justice?
Right. Well, that's a good question, and because what it goes to is the heart of the problem, that some people's voices are not always heard. The weaker and less fortunate in society, their voices are not often heard. People can't always afford an attorney, and they come before me without counsel. And what I try to do is a couple things: make sure that they know that we're not going to have such strict formalities and procedures that is going to detract them from feeling comfortable giving their message. And so, as I said, I have the Statue of Liberty behind the witness box. It's one of the big first things you see when you walk into my courtroom is that Statue of Liberty. You know, this is a judge. That's the message I want to convey. I want to convey that this is a judge who cares about people, all people. And I have my marshal go out there and before they come into the courtroom and say, hey, Judge Scotti, he's going to listen to you. Just relax. Everything's going to be okay. He'll give you a full chance to be heard. And then when they come into my courtroom, I let them know what the process is. I say, here's the order in which we're going to do things. Here's some of the questions I'm going to ask you. And here's the procedure we're going to follow. What I do is what I'm trying to say is I walk them through the steps so they have a better understanding of the whole process before I actually get into the merits and the facts. I want to make sure everyone feels comfortable, because that's the most intimidating part of a lawsuit, right? Is you don't know, nobody really knows. How many times do you actually go to court, people in society? It's pretty rare when you actually have to go and encounter a judge. Making people feel comfortable that you're going to be heard and that the judge cares, that's the most important thing.
Right.
After that, you got to let the people know that I can't bend the rules for them. What I can do is help them find the resources. I can tell them, go look at this rule. I can tell them, go down to the self-help center. I can refer them to some of the free legal service organizations that exist in town. So I can help them get the tools that they need to make sure that they can present their points of view. Those are the things that I do. So I think it all comes back, Tuan, to making them feel comfortable, having a roadmap for how I'm going to do this, making sure they know that the judge cares, giving them as much time as they need to explain their point of view. And then if they stumble a little bit, helping them to learn some of the resources that are around town so that they can come back and better present themselves. Sometimes I actually say to them too, Tuan, is tell you what, this is what I think you should do. Go put together these documents, this evidence, go talk to these people and get your information, and then come back in 30 days. So I give them that extra time so they can, once they hear from me, oh, that's how it works, to put their evidence together and then come back and talk to me. So that's what I try to do.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. I think the self-help, legal self-help is actually is very helpful for people who actually needed to go there and research some of the things that they should. However, on that point, with the budget of 812 million shortfall in this fiscal year, and there will be a budget cut to the judicial branch as well. And part of that is the self-help one is going to be cut deeply. How would you run your court efficiently with less help?
Well, I hope I don't have my staff cut, although I did volunteer for both my marshal and my JEA, that's my judicial executive assistant, as well as my law clerk. I volunteered for their time to be used in some of the other courts. Basically, I'm sharing my staff now. I think that's one of the things that us at the regional justice system, justice system, we're trying to share resources right now, given this difficult time with COVID and budget cuts and a lot of people without jobs. Another thing that I try to do a lot is volunteer my time as a settlement judge. I offer my time to anybody who asks it. Attorneys that come in town or that come in my court, litigants that come before me that don't have attorneys, I offer to help them resolve their cases by sitting down and trying to work it out. And that's my commitment to the community. How else are we I think your question is what else we can do in these difficult budget times. I can be more efficient. And right now I'm very efficient. I have a really excellent rating in terms of resolving my cases quickly. There's always room for improvement, but the quicker that we can resolve our cases, that frees up more time to help other litigants. And that does reduce some of the burden that we have on manpower here in the courthouse. I'm trying to think if there's probably other things we can do, Tuan. Nothing really comes to mind right now other than efficiency, sharing of resources, volunteering our time to help resolve cases, and just working as hard as we can to get things done as accurately as possible, as quickly as possible.
Sure. There's a lot of room to improve. In fact, that the court system now is running very efficient nowadays, because majority of the judges now, they basically working a little bit harder. I mean, they go and read the case a little bit in advance instead of just read it when they are sitting on the bench. So that probably would help. And they use all kind of different ways to pushing the case and make sure that everything is going smoothly as possible, and that would help, especially at this time.
I can mention one thing on that as well. The courts keep records of how many cases we have and how quickly we're resolving those cases. We have on average, people don't know this, we have on average 800 cases assigned to us at any time that we're dealing with each year. So in 1 year, I have 800 cases.
Wow, that's a lot.
And they keep records. And generally, we like to resolve all the cases, each case, within 3 years. It'd be great if we could do it 1 year, 2 years, but the goal is to have 90% done within 3 years and 98% done within 4 years. And I've been meeting those goals.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's switch to another subject though. Recently, there are actions of using vigorous campaigning to bring about political or social change between political parties. What is your view of judicial activisms?
Judicial activism?
Yes.
That goes to the issue of judicial philosophy. Each judge who is elected brings a different judicial philosophy to the bench. Activism is on one side of the spectrum, and then I guess on the other side would be a textualist in terms of interpreting the Constitution and the laws. I'm not a judicial activist, and I'm not a person that would blindly just apply the words of a statute or the Constitution. I consider myself what's called is a judge that applies originalism. An originalism point of view is a judge that applies the original intent of the Constitution or the law to the cases or facts that are in front of him. Originalism is a judicial philosophy that was described by former Chief Justice Scalia of the United States Supreme Court. And Justice Scalia, he explained originalism as this, that a judge should not apply his own political points of view or predilections or passions in interpreting a law or the Constitution. Similarly, a judge shouldn't just blindly apply the words. What you have to do is you have to look at the words, determine the original intent, and then apply those words fairly to achieve a fair and reasonable result that comports with the original intent of the drafters of the Constitution. So it's really a middle of the road view. You're not like applying your own perspective to be an activist judge. You're not just blindly following the words. You're looking at the original intent and applying that in a fair manner. That's my judicial philosophy.
Right. On that note, my next question is, what is your judicial philosophy when it comes to interpreting the constitutions?
Yes. Well, that would be the same. That
right.
Look, as judges, we're given the law. We're given the Constitution. We're not people that are entrusted in writing or rewriting the law how we want it. Sometimes I have cases in front of me and the attorneys are arguing the law, and sometimes I don't agree with the law. I think the law should be different. But I'm one man. I'm just one man, not somebody that the people have elected to determine the law or to change the law. I have to leave that up to the legislature.
Absolutely. Right.
I have to leave it up to the people that were elected by the fine people in Clark County. They're the ones, because they sit around, hopefully if they're doing their job right, they deliberate. They talk to all different political parties. They look at different ideologies. They look at legislative history. They look at public policy. They have friends of the legislature come in and testify. They get all this information and they do the best job they can to develop the law. And that's the law I have to follow, even if I disagree with it. You have to take the law and apply it as best you can to the circumstances in front of you. No one man can take it upon himself or herself. No one woman, no one person should take it upon himself or herself to apply their own view of what the law should be. It should never be that way. So I apply the law and the Constitution as given to me in the most reasonable manner that I can.
That is a very fair statement. Very, very fair statement. Now, we've been through an unprecedented charter of water right now. The COVID-19 has changed everything that we have experienced before.
Yeah.
How have things changed in your court due to the COVID-19?
Right. We've tried to adapt as much as possible so that justice is not delayed. We have had, unfortunately, some time that we've needed to take to adapt. And some of the things that we've been doing is making sure we have a very sterile courtroom. So anybody who comes into my court now can rest assured that it's safe, that it's clean, that their health and welfare are going to be protected to the utmost. Everything's wiped down at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. We wear masks. We have sanitizers for your hands. We maintain social distancing of 6 feet. And what we're now trying to work on is arrangements to conduct jury trials. And since the start of COVID, we haven't been able to do jury trials because we worried about the safety of the jurors. And now what we're doing is we're worrying about the staff and the resources and the space that we need to go through the jury selection process. Right now, priority is being given to the criminal cases. And in particular, those criminal defendants that have invoked their right to a speedy trial. And then there's the rest of the criminal cases. And then the next tier of priority would be those civil cases where you have, breach of contract and fraud and personal injury and business disputes and those sorts of cases. They have the third tier of priority. For those litigants that have not yet had their day in court before a jury, what I have been doing is offering them the opportunity to appear in front of me in what's called a bench trial, where I make the decisions rather than having a jury do that. Another thing that we're doing, there are, as a judge the last 6 years, I've rendered probably 10,000 decisions. There's a lot of decisions we make every single day. What I've been trying to do now is allow litigants to appear by Zoom so that they don't need to appear in person. That's another thing that we're trying to do. And much like what I'm doing with you right now, I've learned to be a little bit more computer savvy and to resolve people's cases by phone, by Zoom, by electronic means where they don't need to appear in court. One more thing I want to mention is we're eliminating the use of paper and doing everything electronically. Documents are being filed electronically, orders are being filed electronically. I'm reviewing documents, exhibits electronically, and orders electronically. So we're eliminating the possibility of germs or viruses being spread through paper. And a tangential benefit of that is I think the courts are becoming a lot more efficient.
Sure.
Through that system, because attorneys can now call the judge up from home and participate in a hearing from home or with their client right next to them in their legal office. Things are becoming a lot more efficient rather than taking the time to travel to court.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, this is I think that throughout this, even though that it is going to be tough for most of the people, but now we learn how to conduct our business in a little bit more efficient way than before, and that is a plus. But I hope that we're gonna go through past this and go back to the normal. I think that's on everyone's mind now at the moment.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope we get back to normal. We're humans. We need human interaction. We need that face-to-face contact, and it's actually good for judges to see the people right in front of them. You can look the person into the eyes, and it helps you to see if they're telling the truth or not.
Absolutely.
Also show compassion and sympathy one-on-one as well.
Absolutely. Well, the next question that I have is a little bit more on the personal side.
Okay.
You went to USC for your undergraduate. Why did you choose to go to USC?
I have roots from Southern California, and so I wanted to stay in Southern California. But it's a great school. Come on,
this is an excellent school. I can tell you that.
Everyone knows it's a fantastic school. It was a fantastic school way back in the horse and buggy days when I went there. Right, I graduated there in 1984. So when I graduated, started in 1980. Fantastic school. At the time, it had one of the top programs in political science and international relations. And I know that also business as well, but political science and international relations. And I wanted a dual degree in those fields. And that's what I wanted and obtained. I wanted to study law. I wanted to study politics. I actually studied international law. I wasn't really sure at the time how I would use it, but I wanted to push myself. I wanted to go to a great school that had a great learning program and do the best I can, and that's why, and stay in a community where I knew the people. Those are the reasons why I went there. And I love their football.
Well, the school, the only thing that I'm complaining is that it's too expensive. Now,
yes. Oh my gosh. It was super expensive. I have some great experience there at USC. I became a student senator, so I really did get involved in politics at USC. When the Olympics were there, the Olympics were on campus, I was able to participate as one of the Olympic pages. So I had this great job. I got to not only be one of the ushers of people coming into the stadium for opening ceremonies, I was also one of the flag raisers for award ceremonies. I get to be a part of the procession with the victorious athletes marching out with the flags and raising them on the pole and all the pomp and circumstance and respect for all the flags. That was such a great opportunity there. And then we had some economically disadvantaged areas also around the university. So I started a toy drive program as well. And so I for a couple different Christmases, I'd solicit donations, and we'd buy toys, we'd wrap them up and invite all the kids from the surrounding communities. And it was a fun time for all to participate in that toy drive, toy giveaway. And so I really, really enjoyed the community, and I enjoyed the atmosphere of the school. And thank you for letting me talk a little bit about USC. It's a great school. They have a great football program. I did have season tickets, which I can't use right now because the Pac-12 suspended their games. But
thank you so much, Judge. So before we end the sessions, please take a moment to tell the audience why they should re-elect you.
Thank you. Well, I want the people of Clark County to know that I have a passion to serve. I think this is a job that requires dedication, hard work, responsibility. I'm putting in the time that's necessary. I work as hard as I can every day. My peers, the judges and lawyers in town have given me the highest rating for the last 8 years. What's important for you to know is I care and I want to get it right. And every night when I go to bed, I say to myself, you know, did I make the right decisions? Help me, God, to make sure that I can make better decisions tomorrow, and every day try harder and harder to do the best I can. And that's my pledge to you is every single day I'm doing the best job I can to serve you, and so that justice is going to be served as efficiently and as accurately as possible.
Thank you so much, Judge Scotti, for taking the time to be here with us today. I wish you luck with your campaign in these elections. To the audience, thank you so much for watching this program, and I urge you to learn more about Judge Scotti candidacy by visiting his website and his Facebook page listed on this screen. Have a pleasant day, and I will see you again in our next episode of The Voice of Viet Vegas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tuan.
Thank you, Judge.